Let's do it. T1 against 100 Thieves, and it is going to be T1 starting on the defensive side against 100 Thieves on the attacking side. The ultimate match here today, where we get to see which team ends up with a higher seed going to the bracket tomorrow, which could be pivotal depending on who else comes out of it. We're looking at an early approach towards B from the 100 Thieves side, but it's going to be slow as there's mid and B presence for sure.
We'll have the team spawning in just a second. Important to note, as we've mentioned a couple times, that both these teams are already through. They are just fighting for seeding. That's the main winning circumstance to come out from this matchup. But here we go. They've been let out of the gates for the first time. Possible small amount of contention to work its way in here towards mid. At the moment, not going to see that. For the most part, 100 Thieves just carving their way right through into market and starting to try to take control of the site. That's going to send Brax, possibly his teammate here on site with him, further deeper into the pit, while 100 Thieves is going to take a little bit of control.
And they are quickly into that. Crashes those stays in the workshop as Brax gets onto the site. They do trade a lot, but they lose control of the site and the spike, though. yaBoiDre comes right back up, takes out crashies, and all of a sudden, it's a 2 versus 3 that they've brought it back to after a rough start getting that site. 2 players coming through main, and Skadoodle will clean it up, both back-to-back. Venerated and yaBoiDre, and pistol round goes to T1.
Some quick pickups there from Skadoodle to close it out. They're just going to let their Sage finish off the defuse real quick here so they can get the extra ultimate orb. And off of that, as you said, we'll see T1 get off to a booming start here with a pistol victory. Now we'll see where things follow up. Defensive start will look good for them, and it's up to 100 Thieves to innovate past. I shouldn't expect anything too crazy on round number 2 here. Looks like the buys are going to be kept pretty conservative for the most part, too. Only a single ghost purchase so far, and maybe a couple ability pickups, but besides that, nothing coming onto the table here for 100 Thieves after taking the L on the pistol.
Looking at the comps, it's basically a mirror, only switching out a breach for a brimstone. But what I look at is Brax and Hiko is playing the game too. The team captain's Omen mirror matchup. This is definitely going to be pretty exciting as they attempt the lurks. Crashes though aggressive on this B main, and it's 3 kills down for him instantly. And Brax right behind him to clean things up. A great anti-eco start. It's all left to Pride, and there's no chance for that against Brax and his SMG.
Yeah.
Great timing on the paranoia. Send out from Brax there. Pretty sure we got the entire team, if not at least 3 to 4 of them, completely blinded out there. Made it very easy for T1 to sweep up on this first anti-eco and take control of the second round in very, very quick fashion. 100 Thieves, of course, getting through that. They've got the money for their first real investment. So in come all the rifles and time to see what they can bring to the table with full gunpowder.
And Skadoodle already on the operator. We've seen time and time again how strong he can be on that. And with the way that they ran through that anti-eco, he was definitely just using and biding his time on the ghost. He's right. Already getting started, getting the engines revved up. And T1 will have that operator on the defense. Venerated now making his way with the owl drone through mid, scouting it out, but no presence on either side really taken. The map control now pushed up towards mid. Hiko trying to spam through the dark cover. They might be able to take control, but they're going to wait a little bit. Brax is on the other side of this, but he rotates out, gives a little bit more control over to the side of 100 Thieves. Based on what I'm seeing, they want to attack this B site a split, as Valliate also clears out the B main. 4 players towards mid. This is going to be crashies and Brax hanging on again, and they've done it 3 times in a row. Are they going to make it a third, especially here on the gun round? Here we go.
Ball goes up in market exit to prevent any re-rotate from T1. Ska's going to start this off good. Vood's going to have pressure coming in his direction. It'll still be nearsighted when the push comes his way. So Hiko will find a quick pick there as we see 100 Thieves go for a quick switch up, try and push for short control. They're now back over on market, swinging onto the B site. They're going to work their way down there. We'll see the pressure continue to fold out onto site. Crashies unlikely going to be the first point of contact. Another great paranoia swing coming in from the defenders here. Venerated is able to trade onto Brax though, but Crashies is holding strong. Finds his second, goes for 3, but he's going to be taken out. Hiko will find the exchange. Unfortunately, Hiko, only one of their players still alive from 100 Thieves here, but Hiko's going to make the impact onto a third, and Venerated will close things out to give 100 Thieves their opening round.
They try to rush on the site, but that's actually going to pay, or actually lose them the round as they try to get the spike down. But if they had just maybe played a little bit more patience, because Hiko is waiting, and they do end up clinching it out as Hiko finds one and gets the trade after the spike gets planted. That gamble does not pay off the first round for 100 Thieves, is picked up, but we've still got money on the other side. We've still got T1 potentially about to respawn and reset the economy of 100 Thieves here on the defensive side. But I really like the slow approach. I really like this map control setup that they're doing, taking up that mid very slowly and then deciding what to do afterwards. But this was what happened last round. As you can see, Hiko already adjusting for Skadoodle on a short. And because of that, they weren't able to rotate and actually execute on the plan of putting some pressure down in towards tree. And so they had to ultimately back off into B once again. And for the third time in a row, thankfully it worked out, as Valliate has been doing this round after round, clearing out the B main. This time, though, he has a bunch more coming back with him. 5 people are going to be coming out of this B main. And crashies looks to be the only player here. And with only a sheriff, it's going to be hard to defend.
See them start to push in here. crashies still sitting on the other side of the equation, though, but Brax is going to pick up the first response from further back in the site. Venerated, along with 2 others from the team, are going to be able to push in. We see the Paranoia swing out, but there's no follow-up from T1 on the defender's side of things, so we'll more than likely see that Paranoia fade away before anyone can capitalize on it. Spike also going to go onto the ground. At the moment, T1 not trying to immediately go for the retake, so 100 Thieves is going to take a lot of control.
I like what they did, actually giving that up for a good portion of that, but with that, they're going to put time on their side, or on the other people's side here, as 100 Thieves has that in their advantage. There's a recon pull, Venerated through the wall on the food, but instantly the Resurrect comes in, crashes, finds 1, maybe 2, and AZK as well, all up to Valliate in the backhaul here, and he gets 2, but they already spotted out his position, and Brax is there with the double peek on top of it. It's going to be impossible for Valliate, and T1 does respond with the defuse. It was going to be close, but a well done retake on that one, giving up the site and then being confident as 5 players crash into that retake.
Speaking of crashing, crashies is doing a fantastic job so far of the mid-round pickups here, being able to bring T1 back into these rounds, opening up opportunities for the team, which otherwise without him may not exist. He's been doing a great job of that, and obviously it's showing as he's leading the team on kills right now at 9-4 compared to Brax, who's a little bit further behind him at 5-2.
But now they got the double up as well. And Pansy's been talking about that, talking it up time and time again, and we've seen how these players have been respecting the double up and actually talking about how much power is available to it and how difficult it is to counter, especially when you get it rolling on the defensive side. Brax has now picked it up. How do they respond? It's been basically this default play round after round, and it's always landed on this B site. We have to see a switch up from 100 Thieves over to the A site, or at least show something slightly different than what they've done so far. Otherwise, T1 is going to be able to fall into patterns. Of course, this round, maybe not the round to do it, as they're all on pistols, but possibly can do some damage, possibly can pick up an operator or 2.
It's going to be very, very quiet on this round. Already down to 50 seconds, and nobody even knocked out here just yet. Seeing a lot of abilities being used here, however, as 100 Thieves are getting prepared to try and go for an A execute. They've kept their Cypher in mid just to watch for rotates and hopefully cut a few of them off. Away from this, Skadoodle and AZK are going to shut down the attempted execute. AZK picking up a double in that play. Only 1 or 2 more sitting on the outskirts of the site. Another one still trying to lurk further in towards mid. That's going to be Valliate, but he's also going to get caught out, this time by Brax. Only 1 left standing here. It's Dre. They're on an Hiko as well. He's unfortunately only going to have the Sheriff to play that off. Food will take him out pretty quickly, and a 4th round will be claimed by T1.
And it's starting to roll. We get another gun round here for 100 Thieves to see what they can do, and I think this is going to be the round where they switch things up. As we already see the spike heading towards A main, they really haven't even put too much presence on pressuring that A main. T1 has not yet taken advantage of that by pushing, but we might see that as time goes on. We have seen them in prior game do that. So they got to be careful with the way that they're stagnating in the offense here. And I also have to question whether T1's very difficult fight against Code 7 is actually putting them in prime position here, ready to fight against 100 Thieves, who had a long break because of the way that they dominated the group stage thus far.
See the drone get caught by one of the trap wires there, so I'll hold it back for now. Venerated will jump off the drone very quickly. We'll see him still hold control over mid. He's not alone in holding it either. He has support from 100 Thieves' Omen to try and push that a little bit further. Speaking of pushing things, we've got 100 Thieves slowly getting to that point where they'll feel comfortable trying to go for this execute. It's heavily leaning towards A right now. We'll see if they decide to change it up if things start off poorly like they did in the last round. Food, in the meanwhile, is falling back, and that's more than likely a good decision considering the pressure that's about to work its way from Catwalk over towards that site.
Finally a test on this A site. Skadoodle is here. Fault line's coming in. There's players coming in from tree and also that A main. Things are getting difficult, but they slow down as the utility is used quickly to deny this. Finally through the door, it's Venerated with 2. AZK is going to come through the behind and catch Valliate finally, but they still haven't even gotten a spike down. And Brax is there to respond on the Pride, who finally peeks his shiny little head up the side. And all of a sudden, things are looking very difficult. There's still spike not down finally. As we approach this 3v3, the retake has to be Prime still, as this is difficult. The setup there, crashies gets yaBoiDre out of position, and all of a sudden, they've tipped the tides. Neural theft as well, and they know where both of them. Brax with the spam through the walls, from the rafter, down below. It's crashies who picks up the final onto Venerated, and it's another round for T1. And like we saw, Blue, they're getting rolling on this ascent. This map has been dominant for them, and it's showing again.
T1 doing a fantastic job, highlighting crashies, once again picking up 2 of the kills on that retake, including the re-entry from the collapsible door. Credit needs to go to Brax as well for helping out with that one. He found the pick from up in heaven in the mid-round. It was a beautiful shot as well. Without that kill, they wouldn't have had the even 3v3. The retake would have been a lot more difficult to pull off. Those two certainly making a great effort to keep T1 in control of this matchup. It is shining through at a 5-1 scoreline. As for the opponents, another save round, unfortunately, is in their future here for 100 Thieves. They need to put themselves on the back foot for at least one more here.
I really like actually what they just did. The small adjustment to put AZK on the secondary operator and move Brax back towards B with the Phantom, because they could expect on the low money situation that this is going to happen. They're going to try to crash through B again, but it's a trade. Brax does not win it out. The recon bolt spots crashies, but his movement too good. Hiko again, though, with the spam on the crashies. That wall is so thin. And they do have the sight, but they don't have the weapons. Spike not even there. yaBoiDre is going to revive Venerated. But is he actually going to find a position against AZK? Well, has this aim
Dark
down
cover
right in the spawn. Finally, the spike goes down.
That dark cover, the only reason he's staying alive right now, so a good assist coming in from that. Although you've got AZK holding the line. Venerated, though, still able to pick up at least one more before going down to food. Shock darts going in from AZK to try and split up the setup from within the site. Attackers still have 3 players standing up. One from T1 is heavily lit in the meantime as they're going to try and move into retake. Food already eliminated as he tries to push down into the pit. And now for AZK, the best choice here, considering his loadout is not going to be to retake anymore. It's going to be to fall back, pick up an exit if possible, but more importantly, stave that off for the next round.
He opts to actually go over towards this defending spawn. Finally picks up Pride, but a risky play, knowing that they possibly could have been chasing him down straight through that market. The angles are not there for AZK, but I gotta point out that Rolling Thunder was used there, and the only breach on the map is food. It got both of the other players who were alive on T1 in that case, and it will ultimately lose them the round. A eco round win thrifty for 100 Thieves on their second round. And Hiko with the spam with the ghost on the crashies, who was still staying alive, hanging out with the movement around in the workshop. Wonderful stuff from Hiko.
It's all coming from the team communication right there. You could see the ping at the last second, too. I don't know if that was from Hiko or a teammate, but I'm pretty sure that's how he was able to figure it out. That was some crazy stuff from Hiko. Bit of a throwback there to his CSGO fans, of course. But moving on into the next round here. Scoreline still at 5-2. A heavy advantage for T1, but at the moment, a bit of a bump in the road as 100 Thieves has stolen away that eco. They're now going to look to press the advantage a little bit further here. Drone from the defenders goes out, does see the forward position of Hiko. 100 Thieves here. Still have to be a little bit more careful about the way he approaches this. He'll actually just fall back and regroup with his teammates. And they'll approach this the way they have been playing mid for the last couple of rounds now. Probably a little bit of pressure to be expected here on Catwalk. And they'll either push it forward or fall back to try and make another market play, as we've been seeing a lot of.
Ska's here with the tree angle. And there's going to be 5 players there. Slow orb they're going to push through it, and Ska's just watching that. A mistake from Venerated for sure, as his teammates were not behind him on that one, but aggressive peek from Ska. Thankfully, it doesn't pay. They're going to try to get through this. A split. Hiko is going to take him out, though, knows the position that Ska is going to end up grabbing, and they're going to have to spray through this wall or opt to do something different. There's a... from the shadows from Hiko, but it's up into sight. Valliate also working that door is still on the AZK, and all of a sudden they've got space. An aftershock to push Brax off too, but Food finds another, and they don't have... oh, they do have the spike in. It's planted down in really good positions because they still have tree control. The retake is going to be difficult, but Food is in towards a main.
Hiko still with a good held position too, so this is a really tough retake. crashies, though, starts this off well once again. Food will be lost as he tries to push back in. That will give away Hiko's position, but that doesn't mean Hiko's a dead man just yet. He can still make a lot of play from right here. They're going to jump down, try to take him out, and actually Hiko's not able to line up on anything. crashies takes him out outright. And T1 should just be able to sneak off this defuse on the spike, reaffirming that lead at 6-2 against the 100 Thieves.
Look at that scoreline from crashies, 14-5, as he leads the boards on all levels. And a wonderful team play over that retake on Hiko. It might have been possible, but the way that they jumped down and synchronized the peak on the right side makes it very difficult for Hiko to pull off any sort of crazy reactions.
This is a nice spot.
Well done. This is the setup that I've been looking at crashies do every single time. The double cyber cage, but really it's a triple cyber cage as he gets that one up on the roof. And it covers both the vertical angle and the bottom one, or the top and bottom. Makes it difficult, and that's why he has that mobility around the site and is able to fall off and give up. But look at this. They've got mid control. They pushed all the way aggressive. Food is way down, and they basically know what's coming. You can see the Sova, AZK already rotating off of A as they make their approach finally into B.
Oh, so many traps. We can hear the slings as they're trying to work their way through them here. Now, the reason we see T1 taking mid is obviously because of the massive stack from 100 Thieves trying to push their way forward. This cam got a lot of info too, but at the moment, the only kill we're going to see go up on the board is going to be Valliate's frag. crashies trades that back though, but Venerated will eliminate him, securing B control here for the attackers on 100 Thieves. It's not necessarily a lockdown site, though. Skadoodle and a few of the others are already moving in for a retake, but it's not going to pan out. Hiko finds 2 at the end, and 100 Thieves claim another round, another success for them found on the B site.
A great post-plant position there from Hiko. And Pride, I believe, playing at the logs. One of them also playing in the B main as they came out really aggressively. Skadoodle was by himself for moments. And eventually his team joined him, but it was too little too late. They've got double angles on that, and Hiko will clean up the round and start off a little bit more for Hiko as he gets up to 9 kills now, the only member of his team that's positive with the round differential. That's to be expected. They claw one more back. But every time they do that, T1 responds with 2 more, so it's looking ever more difficult. As we approach into this 10th round, Venerated's patented owl drone. He gets the trap wire down, which is very nice. Not even on the level that you might expect, but definitely well done from that. No more usage from crashies to be able to spot out whether they do take that mid control. And again, you see Hiko taking that lurk position up mid, where they have found him multiple times. They haven't really been challenging this, so it's not that useful.
At times starting to get a little bit lower here, so 100 Thieves will be forced into making a decision soon. It's leaning in towards A once again. For the most part, T1 have been able to fend these off, and Food, he can pick up a multi here and stop it before it even begins, but that won't be the case. Skadoodle is going to have to step up to the plate now instead. Food is lost on the trade, although he does take one with him. So 2 will be down, now 3 in fact, for the side of 100 Thieves. Hiko will finally eliminate Skadoodle, but the damage is already done. They've put it down to a 3v2 with all 3 of the remaining T1 players still at 100 HP. The really good part is the utility's a little bit light, but at the same time, we're going to see an ult pop come out here, trying to reveal a bit more intel for T1. It certainly does that. Tries to lock out the last positions of these attackers. Hiko's going to sneak in, slam the door shut behind him. With time getting incredibly low, will go for the plant, but they might be able to outright deny it here with the ult, and in fact they will. Brax picks up one of the last kills here now. Although the spike does go down, still plenty of time to defuse that and pick up another round for T1.
Just like that, it's the exact same story. T1 gets another one, possibly going to go up even further as we look at the money situation. It's a doable buy. Two players are going to be a little bit rough on economy, so they might opt to save to go into these final two. I got to give props to Skadoodle there, who did not have the operator on short in mid that time, but he hung on even against a push through a main. They came all the way back over to grass, and Skadoodle was still able to hang on to that position that was pretty much compromised. It looked like a one and done with the trade that they had, but in that case he hangs on and finds two more kills to basically seal the deal, although Hiko made it interesting to sneak on that site and get the plant, but the utility is too perfect for him to really do much about.
Yeah, biggest problem that this is going to cause for T1, though, is they did have to use 2 ults in order to win that one out. There's a little bit of a power creep working into 100 Thieves' favor, as they have 3 of them ready to go right now, including Omens, Sovas, and Brimstones. Sovas and Brimstones alone can do a lot to clear out a potential site. At the moment, we're not going to see a response from T1, except for the res, because they just don't have anything. All right, there's the first ult coming out from Venerated. 100 Thieves is going to use that one here. See what it gets them on the site, because they haven't really been able to push out too much just yet. They're still stuck at the long entry. The cyber cage has held them back.
Can't believe how much denial they're able to get on that beat time and time again. 100 Thieves is trying to push their way in, but look at this. If they come back to mid, yes, they got the smoke
Food
now there, but there's no way that they know that food is here. They're not going to check it. You get so much info, and it's a spray down. 2 players down, possibly more. Hiko finally cleans him up, and there's still some room to work with because A has been rotated off, but all of a sudden they're right back there. 1 player in the site, even though the door is closed, shut. So AZK is also going to deny Valliate some room. Brax from the site as the door finally opens. It's Hiko 2, and like I said, maybe 103 Thieves can get 1 round, but no. T1 responds with 2 more. Finally now, though, in the last round, 100 Thieves really needs this if they want to have any chance of contesting in the second half.
100 Thieves also currently charging up 2 more of their ults, so they've been able to even out that situation against their opponents. Don't have to worry about getting rushed by an orbital strike or something like that, because they should have the capability to respond to it with their own ults. Now, heading into the final round here, we'll take a look and see what exactly 100 Thieves are going to be able to put up onto the board before they switch sides. Looks like a much more direct A hit than we've seen in the past. Their Cypher is incredibly important to the success of this push, though, just because he has to watch out and make sure that if T1 start to lurk into mid or B long, as they have done in past kind of one-dimensional pushes like this, they're going to see where it's coming from, they're going to rotate, and they're more than likely going to be able to put a stop to it.
But the setup is so good. Skadoodle going to get the op shot, and now they have no clue that food is there, especially with the wall off. And then the breach ultimate rolling thunder way down this corridor, though. He gave up the spots. An aftershock will also get yaBoiDre, but orbital strike will ultimately end that. But the job is done, as food has knocked him out. Even an ultimate from Brax to spot exactly how many players are there. What is the strength of this push? And they back off again. I mean, 100 Thieves keep getting pushed off when they have a plan. It's desperation. Hiko even tries to use his ultimate into the B site with the spike, and they've got that down now too. Valliate's on his final steps, and it looks like the final cry here in the second half for 100 Thieves as T1 picks up 3 in a row to go up 9-3, and they do what they wanted, which is a dominant start against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, unfortunately, especially looking at that last round, just kind of falling to pieces. The only good thing we saw to them is that they finally were making adjustments away from sites where the initial execute didn't really go that well. That was probably one of their biggest flaws that I saw in the first half, is they would commit to sites, seemingly have the capability to back out when things started to go badly, but never really would take that opportunity, would always recommit, try to force the issue a little bit, and I think that lost them quite a few rounds. We did see them finally change that up on the last round, but they didn't really have a plan B. They just kind of scattered at that point, and due to the losses they had already sustained, there really wasn't much of a hope of them being able to bring that last round back. So 9-3, very much a deserved scoreline right now for T1 as they dominate that defensive half and are going to look to try and take quick control of map number 1 if things go well for them on the attack.
Definitely a deserved first half based on the way they played, but if they really want to take this series by storm, they close it out now. Make sure that 100 Thieves has no breathing room, no room to regain their momentum and their composure going into the second half. As the next couple of maps, we've seen T1 not necessarily operate on the level of their ascent. They do start an approach towards B, but look at this. They actually back off way earlier than what 100 Thieves was doing on the attacking side to try to get a little bit more space elsewhere, but really not gathering that information. crashies is the only player in towards B at all. And there is an aggressive setup in this B main. If he lurks too far ahead, he might get his head taken off by 2 players playing in the crossfire. Yes, yaBoiDre is there, but they're all towards A. And there has been no rotates really pulled off from this. Here's the approach, recon bolt in, and Skadoodle with the wall too. This could be really good for them.
Paranoia swings in from the side, did not affect the players sitting underneath, but thankfully Valliate was already low enough. Brax and Food also finding kills against the rotates that move into that site quickly. Great opportunity opened up here now for 100 Thieves, only losing 1 player on the execute. And as far as 100 Thieves is concerned here, gonna have to do a lot of effort to rotate back in and take out T1. Still give them control over the pistol. Dre starts this off strong, though, continuing from the performance previously, but he can't follow it through. Brax is able to take him out in a very long-range battle from the exit of long. Hits him up there and leaves pretty much everything up to Pride here now for 100 Thieves on the pistol.
And 2 and 12. If there was a time for him to start shining and to bring back that confidence that you know he wants, it would be now, but AZK will snuff that out and stomp right on that confidence. And like I said, that's what they want to do moving in towards the next maps. Because, as we've seen, possibly 100 Thieves has a little bit more momentum going for them on other maps, but we'll have to see. Next one will be splits. We still have 3 rounds for T1 to go, but with this pistol round win as well, I don't know how much more 100 Thieves has in the tank.
Hunt them down.
Let's take a look and see here as the round gets started. Once again, T1 only 3 away from being able to close this out. We'll see Food as well popping right over the top here just to try and catch anything from 100 Thieves they might try to throw at the T1 roster off the bat here. But besides a little bit of aggression working its way out from B, we might see a fight from here in a second. In fact, we do. crashies going to be able to take out Pride. His teammate will move out for the refrag, though. And yaBoiDre is going to be able to find crashies from that one. So just an even 1-for-1 trade, as now the actual execute is working its way into the A site. As we continue to work this, though, Valliate will find one on his own. 100 Thieves trying to hold on strong here. AZK will start to trade it back into his own favor. Goes for a plant, a bit of an exposed position, so could get taken down, but him and Skadoodle work together to eliminate him. yaBoiDre moves in for another trade at the moment. T1 just barely hanging on in a 2-for-1 exchange. Venerated, though, moves in with the shorty to pick up the next frag against AZK. He gets another rifle to work with, but Brax ultimately beats him once again in the long-range duel, as he does have the rifle to play off of there.
A shorty and a dreams, but there is no dream anymore for 100 Thieves, as it's just a nightmare. T1 is up 11-3, 2 more rounds to take this map. It is going to be the first gun round, but even the money not looking the greatest as they tried to force their way in. They tried to claw their way back in any shape that they could, and they're doing it again. It's Bulldogs and Spectres with a stinger mixed in, only a classic for Hiko.
Both teams kind of scrap buying here, so this round's incredibly important, as I'm pretty sure the economy's in a pretty bad spot for both teams at the moment here. Obviously, T1's in a slightly better spot with their guns. They're able to afford a lot more rifles going into this round. 100 Thieves is pretty much in the same position. They just have less overall cash flow to work with here. T1 slowly creeping their way out from A long to work their way inside. Scandart's going to work its way to the back. They do find the player hiding out. The Reedy anti-box is in the back of it. No kill will be found, though. AZK a bit of a frustrated finish to the magazine spray as he tries to lock down the player, which they'd scanned a few seconds prior.
There's going to be 2 players trying to take up short right now, one of them being Brax, the other AZK. There's one player here to find. It's a stinger on Venerated. He gets Brax, and no trade from AZK. He's not challenging with him. Vision down towards mid. Bit of a misplay, but even these mistakes are not enough to make T1 fall. Start to see if they can find another pick. There's 3 players on B to find that, A, and they will move back towards B. 1 recon bolt to spot out how many players are possibly in that A sites. Don't think it revealed anybody, though. crashies now with the lead into the site. There's Sage and Brimstone here. yaBoiDre, nice shoulder peek from crashies to bait out the shot and push him back down. Double cage on the CT spawn with 13 seconds left. There's going to be a flash to take this site. Door has been put down in a wall as well. This is a really nice wait and take as Food finds one. They've got to get this last player. No time for the spike. I think he's planning behind the box, so yes, he will get it. And Pride jumps through this corner and does take it out finally, but AZK is still up.
AZK trying to hold on here, but misses that one angle. He fails to check, unfortunately. So Valliate will run in from the market entry, eliminate him. Still plenty of time for that defusal, of course, so Hiko's going to have no problem sneaking that off, but that will be, I believe, the first round of this half going to 100 Thieves, and they'll also push it forward up to their 4th round. Hiko currently leading the charge for his team there at 13 and 12. Next highest teammate being Venerated at 9 and 14. Still certainly seeing T1 dominate in the frag department, but as we all know, that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story.
It was a good attempt on the take from T1. Very coordinated, even though it was audibles being called time and time. Again, there was a flashpoint through with a couple more abilities connecting. But with the time played as it was, 100 Thieves made the wise decision to really back up after they pushed the Sage off of position. Play all the way back in the B pit. Basically deny everything.
Enemy mark.
There's a lot more pressure towards A main as usual from T1. A little bit of aggressiveness over towards B to try to take control of that corridor. Valliate with the cam in A main. Not spotting too much. Food trying to peek out as well. And we've seen this. They're really playing close to the chest. That's T1 right now. Way back in that spawn. Trying to decide what they want to actually gamble on towards. They are going to gamble towards A, and it might pay off for them. There are 2 players coming through tree, and with a split of this magnitude with 4 players on the site, this might go bad quickly.
See a lot of pressure starting to work its way in. Crashes with a good start, but they have a teammate there to immediately send it right back the other direction. Working their way out now for multiple players, but at the moment, we see T1 taking control of the situation. It's not going to stay that way, though, Dre. With the next pickup, Skadoodle is going to res Food back into this fight, bringing the total man count up to 4 right now for T1. 100 Thieves still down at 3. Hiko's going to change that, though, by eliminating Brax outside on the flank. Now they just have to worry about the site players. Still having to start that retake, though. A lot more work to be done. See T1 as well still with 1 more ult. They could send that out at any given time if they need to. There we go. It's going to roll in. Hopefully stun the people pushing in from tree. Not the easiest find, though. Skadoodle and Dre, both on the Sage, pick up a kill for either team. T1, though, a lot of time being wasted from this, and Skadoodle, another clean kill. AZK will pick up the last one, and T1 push it up to map point.
It's the fundamentals from Skadoodle and AZK, long-time teammates, and you can see it shining through on that post-plant situation. Skadoodle playing in the sight, getting that first look, and then AZK coming through the smoke right at the perfect time to get the double peek on the final player. Unsuspecting from 100 Thieves. That's going to shine once again in these TAC FPS games. The fundamentals, the crossfires, the chemistry and timing on these peaks. As T1 get on the match point 12-4, a really, really good start to Ascent and a really, really good start to this series to hopefully continue this into a second map in this best of 3 and take the first seed out of Group C.
More importantly, continuing that dominance from the first half. In the matches I've casted so far in other tournaments, we've seen a lot of teams that are really great on one half of the map and not so great on the other. It's a great sign to see T1 finding impact so far on both sides of the equation here for Ascent, as we've already seen them do in previous matchups, and be able to continue that forward against a team like T1. This round specifically, though, for T1 is going to start out very, very slowly. We've got a big stack of players working their way into B long. No sign of an execute coming in just yet, but if they're going to take care of the rest of this wall, I would imagine that the follow-up onto the actual site is not going to be too much further behind. Trying to take out a collapsible door as well to make sure that doesn't get in the way if somebody tries to swing.
Nowhere to run!
As you get the owl drone into the site to spot out where the players are exactly, really doesn't get information. And with that, as he spots the owl drone, he knows he's occupied. Venerated will Hunter's Fury him down and even get another one. Brax really trying to get through this window with the barrier orb up. It's a really nice position, even towards market. So much space. Food, though, jumping over the trap wire. And they don't have that camera there, I believe, possibly. yaBoiDre will find one. The Spike now pushing in towards A main, but he's playing in dark. Food is going to lurk back. Oh, a shot onto Hiko, but Valliate has gotten the Spike down, and there's no chance now in the round. A nice flick, but it won't be enough as 100 Thieves picked up another one. Finally, 12-5. We still might have signs of life out of them yet.
Game is not done just yet. 100 Thieves, as you said, showing some signs of life here. More importantly, some quick rotates to get them onto that A site where the final battle did conclude with T1. T1 certainly taking some time to figure out exactly where they wanted to throw it on that round. And I think that indecision caused a bit of a split. It eventually led to them being too detached to make a full push and win it out, closing out the map. Thankfully, they've got plenty of rounds to play with, still a 7-round deficit from their opponent. So they can afford to take a couple losses right here just to due to small mistakes like that. Now letting it become a pattern, however, that's where we'll start to worry a little bit more for T1. On an eco round right now, though, so we shouldn't necessarily expect this to be closed out. 100 Thieves was able to take at least one eco round in the last half, however, so it is certainly still a possibility. We just have to sit back and wait, see what T1 have to offer us in terms of their execute.
I definitely feel bad to lose to an eco round on match point. If you're Hiko and crew from 100 Thieves, it is going to be him solo in towards tree. And the flashpoint's in, he gets blind, he has to fall off, and all of a sudden he leaves it up to the Cypher player on site. And he's going to be able to hold on. Valliate down in dark, he's going to find food, but brax will trade him out, and now he's got a phantom, he's going to start to spray. Still 4 players up on the retake. There are 3 coming from heaven, actually all 4. And let's see if it could be from the shadows into spawn. A brilliant play from brax, but he gets sent back, but does get the info.
So much time being wasted here. 100 Thieves need to find their way out onto the site. A good opener from Dre, but he's not going to be able to take it any further. Venerated now finds the next one here for 100 Thieves. Bring it down to just 2 at the moment for T1, but they push the timer very, very far down. This could be the end of it. ACK already picking up 1 kill. The rest of 100 Thieves desperately trying to move in, grasping for a position to get onto that spikes, but brax using his position so well, makes it a quad kill in the final seconds of the round, and closes out the map for T1 as they take control. 13-5, a beautiful closer from brax.
Brax adds insult to injury on the map of Ascent. 13-5 into the final rounds, gets the entries, but also the 1v2 in the final moments. And here's the scoreboard as that match unfolded. Ridiculous.